So hello, my name is Mark Engel, and I wanted to document and show um, what I've got going on here to help with kind of a problem I have with my boat. My boat has a live well in it with a pump and everything, but I'm unable to. It doesn't have a good way to put a timer on it so that I can optimize the battery, the 12-volt battery that runs it. So I've come up with an idea to build a um, solution using a circuit board and a Wi-Fi connection that allow me to control the um, live well timer with my pump. And it's so I don't have a whole lot of room in my boat, and so there's not a good place to install the typical timers that are out there. Um, so I've decided that I would build something to help me with this. So what I wanted to show was what I've designed so far, so I can have it documented and share with others. But what you're looking at right now is I've got the ESP32 chip here. That's basically the microcontroller that'll be controlling everything and provides a Wi-Fi connection as well as Bluetooth. But Wi-Fi is what I am more familiar with, both on the microcontroller side and software development side, using a browser. In this circuit, I've got two capacitors in front of the supply for the ESP. It kind of requires it. I've got the LEDs that give me a status. This blue one here is for let me know that the Wi-Fi server is running. This smaller blue one here lets me know that my web page, the JavaScript that I'm running on the web page, is actually connected to the web server. This green LED here is to just simulate turning the pump on and off from this relay. And then I've got a power LED right here as well. There's a lot of wires on this thing, so it's kind of hard to see stuff. So I thought I'd just call that out. So what I'll show is the board booting up, and I've got some serial output on my computer here that can kind of show what's going on. So this guy's booting up, and so I have it's advertising as the Wi-Fi. The blue light means that the Wi-Fi network is advertising and it's accessible. Red light means there's just everything is powered on. I'm using this buck converter right here. The input is 12 volts. That will be the same as my battery. And then the output is 3.5. That's what the ESP board requires. And then I'm also keeping up with the amount of amps that the entire circuit is using too. So you can see the amps go up when the relay switches on the LED. So, but what I've got from a software standpoint, you can see the output there for when the pump is on and when the pump is off. So it's right now it's off for 5 seconds and on for, let's see, what is that, 10 seconds. So you can see the LED here. You should be able to see it turn off for 5 seconds, 5 or 6 seconds actually, and then turn on for 10 seconds. And the way that's controlled is through a web page here. Let me connect to this network, so you'll see so that's the network coming from the ESP32. I'll actually connect to it. And there, I'm connected. And now I'll refresh my page. Upon the refresh, you should see the LED turn on. Yep. So there it goes. So now you're looking at the actual web page that allows me to set the time. So I've got sliders here that allow me to adjust the on time and the off time. So I think that's going to be really useful for different times of the year. You need more aeration than others, particularly in the summer. So I'm able to change the amount of on time and off time depending on the time of the year to kind of optimize the life of my battery, or the charge of my battery, I should say. So, and then there's also an on and off switch to turn everything completely off. So if I look over here, you can see the output. If I go back to this guy and I turn it off, you can see everything is completely stopped, and it's no longer counting off and showing the serial output. The LED is no longer coming on. See that? And yep. So, and then I can turn everything back on like that, and then you should see the LED come on here, and there it goes. And then so I can actually turn it off as well when it's actually supposed to be running. You can see there that it was running for 3 seconds and I actually turned it off. When I turn it back on, you can see it come back on here in a minute. There it goes. So, and the other cool thing about this is, I'll go ahead and turn it back off. I'll adjust these settings here and just make it something obvious. Let's just go 10 off time and 1 on time. And what I'll do is I'll reset this guy. So I turned it off and turned it back on. And then I'll close this web page down. I'm still connected. And then I'll connect back up to it. Let's see. 192 for livewell. And so I'm connected back up to it. My screen got bigger because I lost my dev console, but anyway, as I connect back up, you can see it picked up the settings on the on and off time, so it maintains the on and off time as well. Then I can cut it back on there, and then it goes back to counting off the seconds. So I'll change this to minutes when I'm ready to start doing some real testing. But anyway, that's what I've got so far. If you have any comments, just let me know.